Well, well, Aaron, in terms of, for instance, relationships, now whether they're at work or whether they're at home or in sport or whatever, uh, one of the probably best ways I can illustrate this is by telling a personal story. For many, many years, I refereed indoor soccer, and I'm a pretty good referee. I'm good at sort of calming the situation down and so on. But I'll never forget, as long as I live, uh, this particular evening, a new team started. Now, I know most of the players, but this particular team started, and this young lad ran out onto the field, and took me 5 minutes, and I realised that I couldn't stand this kid. I thought he was an absolute arrogant little so-and-so. And over the course of the next few weeks, I mean, I referee these guys every week, I must have sent him off 4 or 5 times in that time, red card. And the poor sod really didn't understand what the hell was going on. And anyway, one week I'm sitting there after the game, I'd given him a hard time as usual. And then it just hit me right here. I realised what it was. This kid reminded me of myself at the same age, when I was the same age as him. He looked like me, he played like me, he treated the opposition players with contempt just like I used to. And all round, he just totally and completely, he was English as well, he just totally and completely reminded myself at the same age. And the second I realised that, he never bothered me for a second after that. And of course, the upshot really is that what I'd seen in him were the very things that I absolutely despised about myself. And that was a great eye-opener. And from that point on, I got in the habit of any time anybody upset me, I always look at that person and think, what is it about that person that I don't like? Have I ever been like that? And generally I can find a time or a place that I've done or spoken or whatever, exactly the same thing. And as soon as I notice that, that feeling goes away and I can just get on with my life. And what actually arises out of all this with these people, and especially that first one, was that compassion arises because I actually feel sorry for them. Because I know what sort of an impact that had on me when I was that age, and how long it took to get out of that way of being and that pattern of behaviour, if you like.
Okay, very well. I guess one of the things that brings up for me is that I hear a lot of people say that whatever habit or whatever thing they have that holds them up, they just say that's the way I am, I can't change it. And I think that story probably illustrates that that's not true.
No, it isn't, because what it did give was a huge insight. Okay, now the insight in itself was great; it was fantastic. But the real key to me moving on, in terms of personal development, and getting better as a human being, was the fact that I was able to repeat that with a lot of different people over time. So I was continually reinforcing that awareness that really most of my problems and successes are actually a projection of my own self, if you like. Okay, and that was a huge learning, and it took many years to really get it to a point where when I do get triggered these days, it's a rare event, but I also catch it like that. It's that free will thing. It comes up, I notice it, and it's gone. And nobody ever notices it happening. So that's a trick that you can, well, it's not a trick, but it's certainly a method or a way of getting around relationship problems. So if you're having relationship problems, try that. You might find it'll work well.